The NHL, the National Hockey League, has announced they're going to be having a new expansion team.
The NHL has announced that the Honolulu Hammerheads,
The Honolulu Hammerheads
will be the next expansion team. Honolulu? Honolulu.
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 Before Quebec City.
People of Hawaii.
How are we going to house a hockey team in the hottest state in the entire country?
So many better options for expansion.
Has been begging for representation in major sports for so long.
Honolulu can't have ice.
You know, I didn't even know they had ice in Honolulu.
One of the best places to expand currently.
Do the people of Honolulu even know what hockey is?
Where are we going with that? New general manager,
GM Ryan Rybread.
Ryan Rybread.
GM Rybread.
Who is this guy?
He's a dynasty builder, okay?
Where'd he come from?
I think they're going to prove a lot of people wrong.
This will be a failure of an experiment for the NHL. We do not need another Arizona Coyotes.
I am all in for it. I love the idea.
How's it going, everybody? Ryebrad here today, and we are back with your Honolulu Hammerheads here in off-season number 3. After season 3, where we made the playoffs and unfortunately crashed out in Game 7 to the Calgary Flames. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good playoff run, and I think this team is only going to get better going forward. We've got a lot of young talent like Benson and Safronov, who just got their first taste of the playoffs, and we've got a little bit more in the pipeline. So Berkeley, Catton, guys like that, Kiviharu are more guys that we can look forward to seeing in the future. Taking a look at the progress reports. I know I showed these at the end of the last one, but you guys can see it just looks so good. The fact that we have Beniers, Benson, Safronov already in the system, then Catton, Lincoln Van Riemsdyk as a goalie, and then Aaron Kiviharu. We've got plenty of opportunity moving forward. Timofey Varlamov is a medium top 6 guy here, and then we got 2 medium top 4 defensemen, although Brook, I don't know if I'm really going to count him as anything, but Hunter Brustevich could be a guy that comes up in a year or two. But I'm pretty excited about this one, guys. An offseason where I think contract-wise we're looking pretty okay. Who is expiring? It's Coghlan. Coghlan is expiring. Ooh, interesting. That's an interesting player because I like him where he's playing. And he had a good enough season where I would be fine bringing him back, playing 14 minutes a night. Giveaway takeaway ratio is not great, but as a third pairing defenseman, I mean, he only wants 1.75. How much money do we have next season? We do only have, what is that, 8 million in cap space? So we do have to be cautious about it, right? We can't just go spending willy-nilly like we did when we had the cap space to go after Austin Matthews. But who is expiring after next season? Kyler Yamamoto is expiring after next season. So is Victor Olofsson. I'm fine with letting Olofsson walk after next season. And then Kyler Yamamoto will have to make a decision on, but I think he'd be a great guy to keep excuse me, on the first line there with Benson and Matthews. I think that could be a really, really good first line. One that we didn't really explore much with until the end of the season. Marchman is expiring after next season as well, so it looks like we will have more space there. Addison is expiring. We'll see what happens with him. And then we will see Coghlan. I do kind of want to bring Coghlan back. If we take a look at the defensemen, I think at least for another year, right? We got Gerard Bean, Carlo Pettersson, Addison, Coghlan, and then Norlinder is our 7th defenseman. But then there's Brooke Anderson, I guess. It's going to be a little bit before Brustevich or Kiviharu is ready to go. So I think Coghlan for another, probably a 2-year deal at 1.75. I'd be totally fine with giving him that contract. Norlinder continues to be our 7th defenseman, and I'm perfectly happy with the way that looks. And then in goal, obviously, we got Luukkonen, Nico Dawes, Lennox. We just have so many goaltenders in the system, as well as some more on the way, because I know for a fact that the draft class looks pretty good. But we will go ahead and advance to the draft here. I did set up the scouts. I believe, let me just double check that it's saved. Yeah, they're all good to go up until the draft. So we'll simulate up to the draft here. The scouts have updated their rankings. Coghlan extends his contract. And then one thing I did notice, I saw a comment earlier that I should put X factors on Beniers. I think what I want to do, congratulations to the Colorado Avalanche and the Toronto Marlies, but what I want to do is I want to wait. I don't want to interfere too much with the way the arc goes. I think when a player hits 90 overall and they don't have X factors, I will add X factors to them, and we can decide as a team, you and I, what X factors they should have. But right now he's only an 86, and I don't think until 90 it's okay to give him an X factor or an ability. But if you guys disagree, we've got this whole episode of the offseason before we get to any more simulation. Montreal wins the draft lottery. Seattle, wow. So a bumping of St. Louis, I believe that was. But let's view the retired players. Who is going to get inducted in the Hall of Fame? And is the Magic Man Eric Stahl for sure? Shea Weber, probably. Milan Lucic? I don't know. It depends. He might be a Hall of Famer just based on the criteria we're using. Brassard, Mark and Eric Stahl going in together? Maybe, maybe not. Cal Clutterbuck, meh. This is a really interesting class. A lot of games played, not a lot of points scored, but Tyler Bozak, honestly, for points per game is pretty darn good. Taking a look at the goalies that retired, it was Corey Schneider, Thomas Greiss, Anton Hudobin, and that really does seem to be the only guys that played any significant amount of time. Coaches retiring, no Anchorage retirements and no Honolulu retirements. So we are set there. Shattenkirk, Bortuzzo, Byron, and Brassard are now scouts. So let's go ahead, get to the draft interviews, and take a look here. Cogliano's a guy we don't know anything about, but we're not going to be in a spot to take Wyatt Cogliano. Taking a look at the elites, though, there are so many medium elites. Obviously, the top 5, but you got Eriksson, Rintoul, Malmstrom, Cavallio. I mean, oh my God, what is going on? Sven Eriksson, 3, 4, 5 elite goaltenders in this draft class. Good Lord. I mean, we could just end up scooping them all up. I definitely think I want Sven Eriksson, considering he is listed as a gem. Although Cooper Rintoul looks to be the better player. Same thing with Malmstrom. And then the other guys seem to be just depth. There's Daigle here, who is 2 years away, it says. Is he really 2 years away? As a medium starter at 18, Gabriel Daigle? Wow. Dan Correa? Oh my God, another potential elite goaltender. Joe Pearson here, 2-bar medium elite, and then there's Nikolai Kapitanov, 2-bar medium elite, but I doubt it. There's some low elites, though. Bryant McKenzie, low elite defensive defenseman, who's 3 years away. And then Rylan Cox, who is 18. He's got no... Ooh, this could be the pick. At 42, I definitely think I want to take a look at Rylan Cox. 3 years away from the NHL. His scheme fit is not great, but low elite. He's got a great shot, is a power forward, doesn't really have any weaknesses, it says, but we know he's got a zone ability, not just superstar abilities. So taking a look through here, there's some more guys, I think, in the 20s. We could go after a Terry Ross. We could go after a Maxwell Orpik. There's Nikita Ponikarovsky. There's Carson Scrimes. Like, there's some guys here that we could go after. 2 years away. Ooh, this left winger at pick 39. So I think, honestly, like he's got ice pack. We know that for a fact. He's 2 years away. He's 18. He looks really well-rounded. There's Larry McCarty, who's 1 year away. He's projected to go at 40. There's some really good, solid depth talent that I honestly like. LaRose, McCarty, Byers. I kind of want to take them all. Raymond LaRose has quick pick, right? So another guy that we could end up going after. This guy's a gem here. Ariel Panayi. I highlighted him in the last one, but a couple guys here. Jurgen Sturm is 4 years away. Panayi is 3 years away. And then Bear Maher, a fantastic name, but he's a little bit further away. There's Louis Beaupre, I believe is how you would say his name. He's 2 years away with shoot pinch. Doesn't fit our scheme, but an offensive defenseman, young, 2 years away. That's kind of exciting. Maybe we don't trade down. There's Valerie Habibulin, though, who I think, honestly, at 24, with an X Factor would be the pick for me. He's got X Factors. That's the reason. Then Juha Niemi here with X Factors. Potential X Factors. That one's not as much of a guarantee, but Juha Niemi, guys, the second round is the place to be. Like, look at all those players that we just identified that are just talents that are gems, are X Factors, are oh my God, so many gems in this draft class. So Sven Eriksson, Rylan Cox, Panayi, Larry McCarty, and Juha Niemi are all gems. And they're all seeming to be going in the second round, right? 40, 44, 45, 50, and then 77 for Payai. Let's take a look at the pins, though. We have so many players here. Valerie Habibulin might be the person we go after, just in case we don't trade down, but I think I would like to trade down. I mean, just look at all the talent that is right here. All those goalies, man, I'd love to get all those goalies, but I just don't think we can get enough picks to make it worth it. I think we can definitely get a guy like Wayne Quint And I think we can definitely get a Lawrence Covalio, but I don't think Malmstrom or Rintoul. I mean, I'd probably take them over Sven Eriksson. I don't know why our scouts say he's a gem when, this guy's objectively better in the OHL. Cooper Rintoul over Sven Eriksson. I mean, he's medium elite. They're both medium elite. He's 4 years away. He's 5 years away. I don't see, unless there's some X factors that we might be missing. I don't really see any reason why I wouldn't want Rintoul or Jorgen Malmstrom, because who are both 4 years away. B minus, B minus, B minus versus C minus, C minus, C. So I think we're going to leave it at that. We will have to identify, where we have to get all of these players that we want, right? The pins, right? Hobby Bulin, I'm going to unpin him just because we're not certain he's got X factors, and as a medium top 4 at 24, that's fine. But if I can trade down and get Ryland, Cox, McCarty, LaRose, Quint, Cavallio, Niemi, Byers, Rintoul, Panay, like this could be one heck of a draft, I think, if it works out the way we need it to. So we need like 3 picks in the 40s, right? 40, 42, like look, just the 40s are the place to be. 39 for Francis Byers, who's 2 years away. We have to get him, Francis Byers, with Ice Pack and potentially in reverse, right? At 39, 40 is Lawrence McCarty, who's 1 year away. Honestly, it's McCarty over anybody. Larry McCarty, Ryland Cox is 3 years away, but we know he's got the gold ability. Raymond LaRose might be the odd man out here. I mean, we need like 4 picks in the late 30s, which is early second rounders, which is tough. It's going to be tough to go after, but and there we go. We actually missed our draft interviews, but I'm not actually too worried about that, just simply because we already know what our plan of attack is. We're not going to get any of these guys that are unknown. If we were to stay at our pick here, I don't know if it's worth it. There's nobody. I mean, Valerie Habibulin, like I mentioned before, but with the X Factor, nobody else seems to jump off the page. Bryant McKenzie here as a low elite defensive defenseman at 28. With for sure an X Factor, could have a zone ability, a low elite Bryant McKenzie here as well at pick 28, which is tough because then if we do end up trading down, we aren't going to be able to get him probably. I mean, we could trade down to 28, but then we got to make a lot of moves to get some of those, like these picks. Like it's crazy. And Steven Geisberger, I wouldn't be surprised if they're also a fantastic player. Sven Eriksson here, obviously medium elite, but I think we can wait on that just because the medium elite goaltender isn't necessarily as rare in this draft class as we've seen. But these 2 low elite players, Cox and McKenzie, are guys that I think we should end up getting. I think we need to get these low elite guys as well as many medium elites as we can get. So if we start the draft, I'm gonna really look to move down. Okay, so let's take a look at let's actually look at the pinned players. Let's take a look at our draft board. It's a screen that I think would be very, very helpful right now, right? So you guys can see 28 for McKenzie. He is low elite. We know that for a fact, with potentially cycle pinch, which fits. He might have multiple X factors as well as a zone ability, superstar ability and zone ability. 6'4", 222. That's a pick at 28 that I'm definitely interested in. But then it's this lot right here: the Byers, McCarty, Cox, LaRose, and Niemi. Cox, obviously, we know the low elite would be great, but 1 year away for Larry McCarty at medium top 6 these 2 guys are the ones to get. Then it's Francis Byers probably is the next guy. LaRose is the next guy, and then Niemi. As a defender, could be somebody we want to get, but I'm not as sold on Niemi. Medium top 4, 3 years away, which is pretty good. Shoot pinch, not bad, but the X factor, so maybe not there. The X factor is maybe not there, but Raymond LaRose, we know is 3 years away. He has quick pick, the left wing, 2-way forward. Looks to be pretty good, medium top 4. We obviously have talked about Ryland enough. He's low elite. McCarty's 1 year away, and then Byers is 2 years away with a potentially 2, right? So we need to get 3 picks, bang, 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 or 4 picks right there. And then Panay, we can end up snagging later, might have wheels, might not, but either way, a low top 6 gem, who's 3 years away at pick 77. I would 100% take that. Unfortunately, we only have, so we could move up here in the second. It'd probably take a second, but we might want to move on from some of our other prospects that we're not as convinced on. And like I said, moving down in the first round, from where our pick is. I believe it's in the 20s, projected pick 26. So honestly, we might not be able to move our first down at all. I'll see if I can move it down, but we're going to jump into the draft now and see what moves we can make. I do want to, let's get to the 20. So there's 26. Maybe we could move down, I mean, one spot with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and maybe they'll give us a second. I highly doubt that, but we'll give them our first for their first. And then they're not gonna, there's no way they're going to give us a second for our first. That's what I kind of figured. But maybe we can end up getting a third, which could be used later. A first and a third. Yeah, it's one spot. I'll see if I can acquire any more picks to move down a spot. They say we're quite far off, so I really don't foresee us. I don't think this is going to make sense. They don't really seem to want to move. They want to move their pick, but they don't really want ours. It's quite close in fair value, so I could probably throw in a 7th to move down one spot. Oh my God. Okay, so no, we're not moving down. And again, at pick 28, we need that pick to go after the defenseman who is low elite. Pick 28 here. Yeah, our scouts rank him 38th, but I disagree. 3 years away, low elite with potential zone ability. I think that's worth it. And I think staying at pick 26 and taking them over all the medium top 6 defensemen is worth it. So we're going to need picks here in the second round. So our pick is, what did I say it was? 22 in the second round? Offer trade. We need picks 39, 40, 41. Let's take a look at where we are picking. We are picking 55th. So we do need to move up in the second. That's tough. We need to move up in the second quite a few picks. So if we're at pick 55, we need to move up where? So 55, 4, 3, 2, 1, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39. Okay, so right about here, the St. Louis Blues or the Columbus Blue Jackets. Does anybody want to give their pick away here? No, the St. Louis Blues do seem to have plenty of picks, though. We needed to at least move up here. The Seattle Kraken's pick, we'll give them, honestly, it's tough. We do have an extra second next year that I'd be fine parting with just because we don't know anything. But again, you know what? I think it'd be worth it to part with a second next year. Our second next year, because I think we're going to be a pretty good team. And then I will also throw in skaters matching the block. Bonk. Do I want to throw in Bonk or Nielsen? I think Nielsen as a low. Yeah, I feel like Nielsen in this next year's second to get another second, right? I think that makes sense. Bang. Trade accepted on behalf of the St. Louis Blues. We'll see you out on the ice. So that's beautiful there in the second round. We will call Columbus here. Trade for this pick. Probably move our 55th overall pick for sure. And then the first overall pick is Graham Owen, the medium elite 84 sniper. Oh my God, he's going to be phenomenal. It's one of those, once you start to get this area where some of these generated players end up popping up at the top of the draft, that's when you know you're going to just have a ridiculous player on your hands. But here we go. We've got the Columbus Blue Jackets 40th overall. And at pick 120, I don't think there was anybody in the 120s. So what if I move my second and my fourth, and then can I also get back like a fifth, maybe? So we don't lose out on too much value. Trade rejected. It's too far off. That's kind of what I feared. How about a sixth? Can we get the sixth out of the deal? Trade rejected is too far off. I'm sure a seventh. I mean, seventh's not going to move the needle for anybody. Trade rejected, and then sweeten it just a touch. Okay, so we do have our own sixth, which I think I'll throw in here. So a second, a fourth, and a sixth to move up, I guess, 15 spots. That's not too bad. Trade accepted. They believe it will contribute to success for the future there in Columbus. Okay, so we are looking as far as not scouted. Let's go with, can I get just my pinned players? Draft board. There we go. So we got McKenzie here, and we're gonna miss out on Byers probably. We have an opportunity to snag Byers, but we're definitely gonna get Cox and McCarty. We know for a fact that we can get both of those guys. Maybe one more pick at pick 39 to get Byers. Do we necessarily need it? I don't know. Francis Byers definitely is so they're 2 years away. There's Juha Niemi, but we don't know for a fact that they have anything. And besides, if I'm going to stay at my first overall pick here and take McKenzie, who is a low elite, taking a look, we're going to get all the low elites, right? The medium, I would rather have a low elite defenseman than a medium top 4 defenseman. Then we're going to need a 77th overall pick. So what do we do? Do we move back at all? Do we move back right to pick 28 with the Washington Capitals? Is that even an option? Are they going to even bite on that? And then are we going to miss out on the player that we want? The Honolulu Hammerheads first. It's pretty close. Can we get like a late round pick out of this? Maybe a third even for this. Trade rejected is too far. That's what I kind of figured. What about a fourth? Fourths do seem to move the needle a bit. But I'm just worried about not getting our guy there. Trade rejected is too far. Okay, I'm not going to move down for just an extra 5th or something. So I think what we do is we wait. Hold on. We definitely want. I want to see if I can acquire one more pick here. The Winnipeg Jets want to move on from their pick at 8 there. So I'm going to see if I can entice them with some players. Right. We don't really have any picks, but goalies matching the block. Nico Dawes and Annanen match the block for them. Van Riemsdyk I'm holding on to, although we could end up getting a medium elite goalie at some point. I don't have any of those medium elite goalies on the pinned right now on our draft board. Seattle takes the medium elite playmaker Johnny Hodgson with ankle breaker wheels all alone in quick draw. A very, very, very good playmaker off the bat. So a high quality first half of this draft class. But taking a look at the draft class, if we want to get at least one of those medium elite goaltenders, Rintoul, we're going to need a pick in the 60s or in the 90s. And I think we do have a pick in the 90s, although we have Wayne Quint here as well. But I think Cooper Rintoul or Malmstrom, Jorgen Malmstrom, who's a little bit worse, very slightly worse. But Rintoul is the better player. But at 8 picks later, still going to medium elite goaltender. We could end up getting somebody who's a little bit further away here in Lawrence Cavallio. And I don't know if these guys will ever make the team, right? That's the worrying part. To give up assets for that. Okay, so draft board. I swear I have the goalies pinned. Watch listed. Do they not let me show goalies that are pinned? Really? I swear I've pinned goalies. Thank you very much. Let me take a look at my pins. And EA, yeah, he's pinned. Why is Wayne Quint not on my draft board? Show me him in the draft board. He's still not in the draft board, and yeah, whatever. Okay, I guess not. But Bryant McKenzie is the guy we want. Low elite. What is he? A defensive defenseman? Yep, that's good. With cycle pinch, that's also good because you guys know we have plenty of offensive defensemen with the zone ability potentially in reverse and yoink for sure. So we'll see. But definitely want to maybe get it a couple thirds. Offer trade because we only have what, a first and 2 seconds right now in this draft class. Yeah, a first and 2 seconds. That's kind of tough. But rookie skaters, who can we potentially move on from? There's Tristan Varlamov. He's 20 at 69. I don't know if he's ever going to get more value than he's got now, and we'll see. Do the Winnipeg Jets want him? Because that could get me a second. The Winnipeg Jets do not want him, unfortunately, even though they want to get rid of their draft pick here. The second, how close is it? Pretty far away in value, to be honest, and your offer doesn't meet our trade block needs at all. Okay. Interesting enough, they don't want Tristan Varlamov. Maybe Tristan Varlamov could be turned into a 3rd round pick to get a goaltender, like a pick 69, like I said, or 64 and 80, or 72, 64 and 72. So we have these 2 seconds back to back. Maybe the Dallas Stars would want Tristan Varlamov. I'm not sure. It's going to be harder to pry their second off of them. But rookie skaters, they do want Tristan Varlamov. So that's actually kind of big. Tristan Varlamov straight up sending isn't sufficient at all. Okay. Don't need to be so rude about it. But they do want Tristan Lennox. And I mean, honestly, if we're getting another goalie, we could trade Varlamov and Lennox to get that second. We could end up taking a medium elite goalie here with these picks and then take the 2 players that I identify. But we will maybe throw in a sweetener here. Hold on. If I'm going to, yeah, maybe they want to give me, they're 3rd at 84. That's a little low. I need at least a 70. I could maybe, I could move up with it though. Trade rejected isn't where it needs to be based on what we're asked to give up. So we will, apparently lose out on the trade because Barrett gets drafted by the St. Louis Blues, who have a ton of picks. 81 overall, medium elite, power forward with a great shot. So that's honestly a great player to have there. Who were we on the phone? We were on the phone with the Dallas Stars. We were working on something here. But the Dallas Stars 38th overall pick, and then let's see if we can get the LA Kings 4th, because I can package the 4th with a prospect. So rookie goalies, Tristan Lennox, and then skaters matching the block. They also want Varlamov. Lennox and Varlamov for a 2nd and a 4th is too far off. That's fine. Okay, so we'll just kind of... Oh, wow. They want a clean house. Okay. But a 5th. How about a 5th, Dallas, instead? Trade rejected is too far off? Really? Okay. How about a 6th, then? Would you give me the 6th? Isn't sufficient at all. Varlamov and Lennox. Sweeten it oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Okay, skaters matching the block. Who can I use to sweeten it just a touch? Bonk? I don't know, Bonk. If I throw Bonk in, that's more than just a touch. So let me see if I can then get like a late 3rd that I can then use to move up. Done. Deal. Okay, so we got the 3rd from them. Maybe I could have gotten their earlier 3rd. I probably should have. But we're looking pretty good now, honestly, with the potential to draft quite a few impact players. We have 26, 38, 39, 40, and 84. So we need to move 84 up into something 74. 74 would be honestly a perfect deal. Will it go through straight up? No. Okay, that's I think I figured that. Skaters matching the block. Who do they want that I don't have to... They want Tuft. They want Marchment. That would clear some cap for us. Quite a bit of cap this season, actually, to replace Marchment, who's a bottom 6er anyway. To move up 8 spots... Ooh, can I maybe get something else out of them? Skaters matching the block. I don't really want to get anybody. Let's see if we can get like a... I doubt I'm going to get a 4th out of them, but we'll at least try it, right? Doesn't hurt to call. Isn't sufficient at all. That's what I kind of figured. How about a 6th? A 3rd and a 6th for a 3rd and Marchment is too far off. How about a 3rd and Marchment for a 3rd? Too much to deliberate? Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to complain too much. Maybe I could have gotten next year picks. But there we go. Marchment in a 3rd for an earlier 3rd. So we now have the ability to take pretty much anybody we want. So we've got So we got the 1st round pick for Mackenzie. And then we got 3 seconds in a row for the guys that we wanted to take in the 2nd. And then 74 overall, right? That would I believe that gets us the goalie we wanted. Let's take a look at our pins. Taking a look at our pins, right? We'll be taking oh god, Cavallo. We could end up getting Mike Michael Misa. Maybe that's his name, but a really well-rounded playmaker. Holy smokes! Medium elite with ankle breaker, puck on a string. Yeah, that's a great pick for the Philadelphia Flyers. Something they sorely need. St. Louis is really looking good in this draft class, but. Anyway, let's take a look. So we could always get Wayne Quint, who's 5 years away, or Cavallo, who is also 5 years away. But the goalie I kind of want is Rintoul. Panay is a low top 6 gem is not worth it for me. Medium elite goaltender. There was one at 74, I swear. 72 here. Jorgen Malmstrom. There it is. Jorgen Malmstrom, who is 4 years away. Same thing as Cooper Rintoul. Cooper Rintoul looks to be a little bit better. But at least Malmstrom, medium elite potential. 72 is where he's projected to go. And I believe we've got 74 now. 74. Yeah, we've got 74 from the Winnipeg Jets. We need to move up 2 spots in the 3rd round, or at least maybe 3 spots in the 3rd round. Okay, so teams that want to give up their picks. Montreal wants to give up their picks, so we'll call Montreal and see what they want. Skaters matching the block. Brustevich, Pettersson, Bean, nah. Coughlin, I just re-signed him. Kalen Addison, no. Kiviharu, obviously he's gonna stay with. Yeah, they don't seem to be matching our needs. But I will throw in the 3rd. It's probably not going to go through. Yeah, I just kind of threw that one in there to see. Goalies. Luukkonen, Dawes, Annunen. I mean, Annunen is a year older. He's been fine for us, right? As a backup goaltender, he actually had a really good season. But I think Nico Dawes could be the guy that, you know, right? They're basically similar. They're very similar players, and I need to just take back any old body from the Montreal Canadiens. They want to get rid of Jonathan Drouin, who's on an expiring contract anyway. why not? A third and Annunen to move up 3 spots. Will it go through? Trade accepted. They would call for his resignation. Oh well, maybe I could have gotten a later pick out of it. But we move up a couple spots and we are able to get a goalie that we want. A medium elite goalie. We're able to get the low elites that we want. So maybe Quint, if we end up having a late round pick, maybe I could get it probably wouldn't be too hard to get a 5th or something like that. Pick 108 for him. LaRose, Raymond LaRose could be one of the guys we get, but we're definitely going to take Cox, McCarty, and Francis Byers, I believe. So yeah, those are the 3 guys we're going to take at our picks. And then we've got, I'm going to unpin Panayi. And I believe if we sort by medium elite, I should pin the goaltender Malmstrom here. Jorgen Malmstrom is the guy we are going to end up taking. 6'2", little bit worse than Rintoul, but for 8 spots down, I'm fine with it. I'm certainly not going to complain. And then if we can get a pick like in the 100s, like 108, I think that'd be pretty good to go after. And there goes Cope. Actually, a better pick than Miza, I guess. Wow. Okay, so Miza, 83. How did he fall so far with no contest back at you? The New Jersey Devils are going to take Cogliano. So there's the guy that we didn't scout, 79, but he doesn't have any X factors. But that's honestly a loaded top 6 picks. And then at pick 7, Bickle, 78. But an X factor, right? So, man, this is a really, really good draft class. Let's see. We got to get pick like 105. Who would is this? Let's just take a look here. 10th in the 4th round. That is pick 109. Okay, so we need to go a little bit higher than so we need an early 4th round pick. Maybe the Colorado Avalanche, who want to trade their pick. Maybe they will want some rookie skater from us. Okay, I guess not. I could always move on from Norlander, but skaters matching the block. Who do they want? They want Olaf. It's not worth it. Dickinson, Toropchenko. Tuft. They want Jonathan Drouin. Can I get Jonathan Drouin for a 4th? Hugely inflated? Yeah, I'm sorry. Can I give you 2 years from now's 4th and Drouin for a 4th this year? And then maybe I throw in a late pick next year, right? A 5th next year. A 4th this year, a 5th next year for Drouin, and a 4th 2 years from now. Will it go through? Rejected. It's not up to snuff. That's kind of what I figured. Maybe I can get a 6th next year. A 4th and a 6th next year. Will it go through? Rejected. Isn't there whatsoever. Rejected. It's quite close. Ugh. Jonathan Drouin's obviously not a needle mover for them. I don't have really any goalies that I want to get rid of. As far as players that I could part with, let's take a look here. There's Sprinar. Honestly, Sprinar is a perfect player to move for this pick. Sprinar for a 4th. Rejected. Yeah, it's kind of what I figured. But they do want Jonathan. Maybe I'll throw Jonathan Drouin back in. Skaters matching the block as they want him, right? And I'm obviously not going to re-sign him. So there we go. Trade rejected. Quite far off based on what they consider fair value. Okay. Draft picks. I don't really have late round picks next year to part with. I mean, I really don't want to give up a 5th, although it is just a 5th to get a medium elite goaltender. So why not, right? Drouin a 5th and Sprinar for a 4th. And then maybe we can get a 6th out of the deal? Trade accepted. Beautiful. So we do keep a late round pick next year. I'm fine with that. Absolutely fine with that. And then let's see. Just players that have value that I really don't see myself ever having on the team for a long time. I mean, there's Forsfall. There's Gustafsson here. Honestly, David Gustafsson has kind of been a staple of the AHL. He's had 42 points, 20. I mean, he played a lot of games. I think he's played a lot of ice time too. But he just really hasn't developed. Yeah. Although last year was his best year for sure, with a lot less ice time there. He was on our team for a little bit. He was scratched for a little while as well. So really, a guy with NHL experience, maybe he'll fetch something. Maybe a next year's 5th or something like that. These are the kind of guys that I'm totally fine moving on from. A lot of moves being made. Don't you worry. We are going to make things happen very soon. But I think he's the last guy with any kind of value whatsoever. Does anybody in the world want him? No. Just, okay. Tampa, you probably want to give away late round picks. Yes. How about you give me the Sabres 4th next year for him? It's not going to happen. I could end up trying to get a pick this year, but I think I'd rather like try and replenish picks next year. A 5th from the Sabres for Gustafsson. Ay. Another 6th for Gustafsson. I mean, Gustafsson is not worth the next year's 7th to get rid of him. He's fine for the AHL. So we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna make our first pick here. Let's go. Let's start making some picks. And here you go. There's some of the players that have went around us. Nobody crazy. So let's go ahead and at pick 26, make our decision and take Bryant McKenzie. Obviously, everybody else around him is awful, so I'd rather have the chance at the low elite player. And then obviously we'll have a chance at buyers next. But here we go. Bryant McKenzie, welcome to the Honolulu Hammerheads. A low elite 64, and he does have an X factor. It's Bouncer, his zone ability with in reverse, shutdown, and yoink. That's what you want to see. As a low elite, I'll probably let him play. Where did he play? In USA. I'll probably let him go back to college for a year, which is what I'm guessing he's playing in, and then sign him for the AHL and groom him that way. But there we go. Awesome. So we'll sim to pick 38. We now have 3 consecutive picks. Varlamov, Boys, and La Barbara, and Josephson go. And now it's time to start the party. Obviously, we're going to take Ryland Cox, the low elite power forward with no contest. Easily going to take him. 63 low elite power forward with a pretty good shot too. So honestly, pretty happy with that. The next guy is probably not Francis Byers, but Larry McCarty. I think I want to take Larry McCarty and then Raymond LaRose or Byers. No, Byers is 2 years away. There we go. Larry McCarty is 1 year away. The left winger, 6'2", two-way forward. Welcome to the Honolulu Hammerheads at 72, medium top 6 with ice pack. So hopefully that does get him some good chemistry. And then pick 7 here. We could end up taking the medium elite Sven Eriksson, but I think as far as like players that we think can make an impact on the future of this franchise, Francis Byers as 2 years away, another two-way forward with more superstar abilities. I think he just makes so much sense. I know medium elite might be better to flip him in the future, but I think as far as if I'm going to draft for guys that are going to make an impact on the team, I think Francis Byers is the move. Yes, Juhaniemi is here, but I don't know if he's going to be worth it. He's 3 years away, maybe a scheme fit, maybe an X factor. I'd rather take the sure thing here in Francis Byers. Let's take another two-way forward back-to-back. Byers and McCarty are certainly going to be players that are kind of linked together, and Byers actually has elite edges. So that's what you want to see. They're basically the same player. Like, if I flip between these two guys, they're basically the same player. And then you get to Ryland Cox, the power forward. So these 3 guys, all left wingers. I don't know why they don't have a secondary position, but oh well. They're all left-handed players. But man, like Cox looks like he's going to be a great player offensively because he's got no contest, but total eclipse, close quarters, and crease crasher. And then McCarty and Byers are going to be great, just defensive forward. So I'm very excited for those 3 picks there. We can now sim to pick number 71 and take the medium elite goalie, Malmstrom. There's also 1 bar medium elite. No, I'm not going to bother with it here. We are going to take Jorgen Malmstrom, the medium elite goaltender, who's 4 years away, and he's a 58 overall hybrid, no abilities. So we can see the other goaltender was a late second rounder, it seems. Where is he? There he is, Rintoul, 59. So yes, like I said, a little bit better, but I mean, not enough to make it worth it to try and get the value to get up there. Medium starter Daigle. So he does have X factors, but he doesn't have that elite talent. So I'm pretty happy with our picks. Sim options, sim to pick 100 to get ourselves another medium elite goaltender. If we take a look at the draft class, and guys, we have pinned. You guys can see Quint and Cavallio. We're probably going to end up getting Wayne Quint, another medium elite goaltender. That this one is for trade value. There's also Dan Correa. We'll have to see how he is. He's just a couple picks away, maybe medium elite. There's also Joe Pearson and Kapitanov, but I'm not taking a chance. I'm taking Wayne Quint, getting that value and getting on out of here. So sim to pick 100. There we go. At the end, so we'll take a look through the 3rd round to see those gems. Saprikin, a center medium elite grinder in the 3rd round. Wow, that didn't register until just now. A medium elite is pretty darn good, but Korea is a medium starter. Okay, and there's Malmstrom. Okay, so we'll keep looking here at some of the guys we may have passed on. I'm trying to look. Cavallo, there he is, a butterfly 49, but medium elite as well. So congratulations, Minnesota. You are able to get Cavallo. And then that seems to be it for that round. And here we are at the start of the 4th round. Taking a look at the pinned players. Let's take a look by potential. Yeah, no, I think I'm fine taking the medium elite, exact medium elite. I like that. It's a medium elite here at 108. Wayne Quint, welcome to the Honolulu Hammerheads. 2 medium elite goaltenders in this draft class. A low elite, oh my god, the elite talent in this draft class for us is going to be so good. We have a low elite to start the draft, then a low elite, and then 2 medium top 6s, a medium elite, and a medium elite. I know we didn't have a lot of picks, guys, but man, was it worth it. Let's see, does anybody else here really spark missed opportunity? Low elite Thom, I actually kind of looked at him I glanced at his name and I remember it, so Angelides, I think is what you would say. Angelides. Oh, ouch. Bartovich. Vancouver missed the party on goaltenders, that's for sure. But that's it. I'm going to go ahead and get out of the draft here. Another good entry draft with McKenzie, the low elite defensive defenseman with his zone ability. Cox with his zone ability. I think he's low elite as well. McCarty, medium top 6, and Byers medium top 6. So those top 4, I think, sacrificing all those picks, we don't have a ton of picks, but they are going to be high quality players, I hope, for the future. And then Malmstrom and Quint are 2 medium elites, dart throws for the future as far as our goaltenders are concerned. But now let's go ahead and jump forward to the re-sign phase. We do need to re-sign our AHL coaches. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind I want to re-sign our coaches. Lubomir Bartovich wants to be an AHL head coach. I don't think I can get that to happen. I mean, we'll try. He wants to be. We'll see if I can just throw the bag at him and see if he can come back to be an associate coach. Here we go. Robitaille is an assistant coach. Marcel Robitaille does want to come back as assistant coach, so we will be good there. And then Caron, Pascal Caron, B- teaching. I feel like I'm okay to move on. I'm going to move on from Pascal Caron. I feel like I can get a better goalie coach. Joe Thornton now, I think a C. I think he did grow. Gaspard Savard, A-. We knew that. I think the power play did improve. A-, maybe? Yeah, Joe Thornton's power play definitely grew. He was definitely a C, I believe, in last. I did show you guys that at the last one. But Bruce Allen's coach influence seems to definitely be helping. As far as teaching, B for Ulrich as well. So maybe we want a better goalie coach. Scouts that are expiring, are they that good? We have been revamping our entire scouting room. These guys are these folks, because I know there are female scouts. Two AHL scouts and an NHL scout. They are all C's. They can all head on out. I'm fine with that. And there we go. So our scouts are honestly looking pretty darn good. I may want to look to replace the Metro Scout, but they're all set. There's a couple players that are set to become RFAs and some expiring contracts. So all expiring contracts: Gustafsson, Perlini, Toropchenko. There we go. So we will have to sign some of these guys. Gustafsson does want to come back. We'll qualify him. We'll offer him a contract. 3 years at that. Beautiful. Perlini, have you done well in the AHL? I can't remember. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty darn good. 200 shots. Definitely a good goal scorer for us. And an Anchorage legend. So we'll give him 2 years. Why not? And then Toropchenko, how have you done? Toropchenko, so disappointing. Honestly, he's just an AHL staple. I know we took some of these guys because I didn't want to get loaded with bad contracts. We'll give him 3 years because he's young. Sean Day, you were pretty good, I think. Yeah, he was freaking good. Okay. Sean Day, welcome back. We'll give him 3 years till he's 30. John Haight, oh God, I got to do all these AHLers. So let me go ahead and get through this, and I'll jump in with you guys once I've got something impactful to show you. So the good news is there's really nobody important that needs a contract extension. If we take a look at all expiring, I mean, the best overall is 77. It's Gustafsson. And none of these guys are potential for the future guys. Forsfall is a guy that I'm going to sign to an ELC. A two-way forward with really, really good puck skills. Maybe he develops into that top 9 guy eventually in his career, or maybe he's just a really good AHLer. There's no goaltenders expiring that we're worth talking about. So we really have $13.5 million to go out and sign a new goaltending tandem for the AHL. Rest in peace, Annanen. But I think it's time for Nico Dawes, who was a year younger, sign for an extra year. And to get us all these players, I mean, Van Riemsdyk, Malmstrom, Quint. I mean, Malmstrom might end up being better than Lincoln Van Riemsdyk, although I love the name Lincoln Van Riemsdyk. It's a fantastic name. Defenseman-wise, we got Gerard Bean, Carlo Pettersson, Addison Coghlan. Honestly, I'm fine with that. And then Brook or Norlander as our 7th defenseman. And then it would be like Norlander, Anderson, Day, Brustevich, and then not Kiviharu unless he absolutely jumps. Where is he playing? He's playing in Liga. He actually had a really good season compared to his recent seasons. He's not quite ready to play in the AHL just yet, but I think we're okay. I'm starting to get worried that he may never end up developing. A 10th overall pick that hasn't jumped yet is kind of concerning. But then forwards, we know it's Matthews, Beniers, Sorelli, Kuzmenko, Yamamoto, Benson, Olofsson, Zaka, Peterka, Safronov, Dickinson, Tuft. We may need to sign one more player. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. Is there anybody that deserves... Berkeley Catton. He's playing where? Spokane in the WHL. He's going to be 20. I'm going to sign him to a contract. I'm going to give him his ELC. He's on that same path. I mean, Larry McCarty might be worth it to play him in the AHL for a season. And I think we will do just that. At a 78. Him and Byers, they could both play in the AHL, I think. Not Beniers. Oh, God, we jumped to the top. Beniers is now an 88. Wow, okay. We'll see. But McCarty, we'll offer him his ELC. We'll sign him and play him in the AHL. Same thing with Byers. We'll offer him his ELC. And there we go. Tixala is just kind of there. And then Ryland Cox. But honestly, guys, things are looking up. Things are looking really, really good. Berkeley Catton could end up coming up to the NHL this season. I doubt he will. He did sign his ELC, like I said. I don't know if he's going to be too old to play back in juniors one more season. Unless he jumps, I'm going to have to sign somebody. Bartovich. And yeah, he's not going to re-sign as an associate coach. That's unfortunate. Robitaille wants to be an assistant coach. Gustafsson is back. Toropchenko, Perlini, Day, MacArthur, Studenik, Hayden, Catton accepts, Forsfall, yep, McCarty, and Byers. So there we go. Those guys have all accepted their contracts. The coaching staff in the AHL may see some significant turnover. Robitaille, he wants to be an assistant coach. I offered you assistant coach. Why didn't you accept that? Okay. Interesting. But he's very, very mid around the board here. So maybe we could find somebody better. I'm going to give him one more chance to accept the contract offer because I would like to keep the AHL scouting or the staff together. Obviously, Bartovich wants to go be a AHL head coach. Good for him. Go for it. I'm going to just I'm going to release him. He can walk. And then we'll need to sign 2 AHL coaches. So advance the day. One more day. Robitaille is still not interested in the title so he walked in my office, says, I want to be an associate coach. I'm like, okay, I'll give you an extra $200,000 to be an associate coach. He's like, I don't want to be an associate coach. All right, buddy. We're going to keep going here with the coaching staff, though. I'm going to basically, Strombolopoulos is going to have to find a new staff to be behind the benches with him. And as far as our re-sign phase is concerned, we are done with the re-sign phase, and we are ready to get started in free agency. Who is available? Brad Marchand and Mitch Marner. Oh, my God. Can we reunite Mitch Marner with... Oh, God, that would be amazing if we did that, but I don't think it's the smartest idea for us, and I really don't think spending all of our $13 million would make too much sense. We obviously, like I said, still need to get a couple goalies. Let's look by potential. There's Wolf here. Honestly, Dustin Wolf, low elite, 24. You can go be the starter in the AHL for 3 seasons, my guy. Absolutely. And then Sharov. Vladimir Sharov was actually a Honolulu Hammerheads draft pick, and I believe we moved on from him. But at 21, medium starter, I think he's going to find his way back. Absolutely going to find his way back, guys. Bringing him in at 21, 73 is the perfect guy to back up Wolf, and it just continues to replenish our goaltenders. I'm going to be dishing them around the entire NHL. But as far as guys that could have made it, wow, Sanderson is an RFA. Jake Sanderson, the medium elite two-way defenseman. Holy smokes. We gave him, what does he want? What's the cheapest we could get him? 5.125 for 3 years would still be an RFA. 5.125 would require us to give up a first and a third. That's a lot of value. But he is 2286 medium top. He only fits the third defensive pairing though. That's the big one. That's the problem. It's not even worth talking about. But then there's what? Pelletier. There's Akil Thomas. I mean, Akil Thomas could be a perfect depth forward. Not Sanderson, or no. Let's see. These guys could go down to the AHL, and I wouldn't feel bad about it. There's Zion Nybeck, doesn't fit the scheme. Let's see here. Samuel fits the top 6. I'm gonna go after Akil Thomas. He's listed as a depth forward for 2 years at a 2-way deal. Oh my God, that's perfect. That's exactly what I could ask for. There's Neighbors here, but again, you know, medium top 6. I know he doesn't have too much time to develop, but as far as the rest of our cap space is concerned, though, I could end up going after a guy like Jacob Chikrin, but he only fits the third defense. It's going to be, wow, it's apparently pretty tough. Defensive pairing 3. Sanderson, defensive pairing 3. What is our defensive or third pairing that everybody loves it? And then after that, it's Neil Pionk, who fits the top 4 as an offensive defenseman, but at 85, he's not really an upgrade over anybody we have. We've got Bean, we've got Pedersen, we've got Carlo. Obviously, we have Girard, who's been a staple of this entire franchise. And I feel like just kind of trusting the guys we have to run it back, grow. I mean, taking a look, let's look at what the potential lines are going to be, right? We've still got Austin Matthews on the top line, Beniers, Cirelli, Kuzmenko on the second line, right? Beniers, Cirelli, Kuzmenko on the second line with Yamamoto. Benson's up to an 84 now. Oh my goodness. Benson, Yamamoto, Matthews on the top line. And then the third line of Olofsson, Zaka, and then Safronov again. As much as I want to see Peterka grow, I'd love to see Safronov grow more. He could, honestly, if his defense improves enough, he's listed as a third line checker, but if his defense improves enough, I would not be opposed to putting him back up on that first line, although his shooting category, he needs to work on a little bit. I think he's still a middle sixer unless he jumps. So he's going to play with Olofsson and Zaka, and then we've got Peterka, Dickinson, and then maybe even Akil Thomas, with Gustafsson being that 13th forward. And then on the blue line, we've got Girard, Carlo, Bean, Pedersen, Addison, Coughlin. I think that's perfect, with Brooke or Norlander being our 7th defenseman. And then in goal, we got Luukkonen backed up by Dawes. I'm upset to see Luukkonen only be a medium starter now, which means he's not going to grow much more. But I think, honestly, that team, I think that should be fine. And I think the growth and the jumps, we'll see, guys. We could end up having a ridiculously stacked squad, but I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. I do need to force fall in a second for a third and a fourth. Not bad considering I don't have too many picks, but no thank you. We do need to find some new NHL, 1 new NHL, 2 new AHL scouts, right? There's an AHL scout, Paris here. Can you scout the entire AHL? For the most part, you can, and we can make it work for sure. Oh my goodness. Everybody wants Sylvain Paris. There's the WHL scout here in Sebastian Braun, A+ WHL. I'm going to set up the scouts. I know some of you guys don't really care about the scouts, but I'm paying attention to it. There's LeBlond here. How does he, an A QMJHL scout, but we already have an A+ Q. Yeah, maybe it's not worth it to go after the other WHLer. Anyway, I'm going to set up the scouts and I'll simulate and I'll let you guys know when everybody signs. All right, guys, it looks like Akil Thomas is going to join the team and he's probably going to be a 4th liner or maybe scratch depending on the jumps of players on the roster already. Dustin Wolf is going to accept, and Vladimir Sharov. It has been a dream of his to join this team. Yes, we drafted him and then we traded him. But that hasn't really sat much in his mind. He's excited to be here. He grew up a lifelong Honolulu Hammerheads fan, clearly. So we are ready to get it started. We have the coaching staff all set as well. I honestly think the coaching staff looks pretty good. Bobrovsky here. I mean, I was really looking at some of the underlying stuff. There's Timu Varakas with the A+ teaching for goaltenders, which is going to be really exciting now that we have Wolf. Hopefully he's going to jump massively as a low elite. Could end up being a Luukkonen successor someday. Fukufuji seems to be the most well-rounded. And then I wanted a coach like Bobrovsky here, who the B- could help grow Fukufuji. Same thing with Strombolopoulos is going to help grow Fukufuji and Bobrovsky. because he's got a coach influence. So Bobrovsky needs to work on his even strength. But he's a pretty good penalty kill coach and a great teaching coach. So we have a lot of guys in the AHL that I'd like to grow. So that's kind of what I was focusing on there. So hopefully things are good to go here. And incoming trade offer, come on. Anyway, I'm going to jump ahead and we can take a look at what the potential lines are going to be for next season. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lines and the captains. I always like to start with the captains just to remind ourselves it's Captain Cirelli, alternate Zacha, and then alternate Girard. Guys that have been here since the beginning, and I think it just makes sense. Cirelli playing on that second line, Zacha, a third liner. They don't always have to be your best players. And then obviously Girard was our best for a while. But here we go. Benson's now up to an 85. Matthews up to a 95. And we get the +3 there with Yamamoto on the top line with them. Cirelli obviously going to play there. I'm pretty honestly happy with this. With the way things are looking, Safronov would still get us a plus. He's up to an 82, right? And his defensive category has jumped enough where 87 offensive awareness. His shooting's pretty darn good. I don't know if I want to really keep him on the third line. I feel like I could get a +5 with a 95 Matthews, an 85 Benson, and an 82 Safronov. They could end up putting up a lot of points now that he's, a little bit more grown than he was last season. Taking a look here, it doesn't really matter who's center and whatnot. But Austin Matthews, what was your face-off percentage? I just want to know. Face-off percentage was 55.5, and then Zachary Benson's was 47.96. So I definitely think I want Matthews at center if we're putting Safronov up there to get a +5. Yamamoto gets us a +1 down here with Zacha and Olofsson. And honestly, Yamamoto, Zacha, Olofsson is that power forward playmaker sniper combination. Peterka, Dickinson, Thomas, honestly fine with that line. Although Thomas could slot in the second line just fine. But obviously Kuzmenko, Beniers, Cirelli, we've seen them dominate before. Scratch, we've got Norlinder and Brook. Brook has now jumped Norlinder and no longer has really time to grow. Goaltending is Luukkonen at 86 and Dawes at 82. Things you love to see. Even strength. Take a look at the defense. Girard's down to an 87. That's a bit of a bummer. He was an 89 at the end of last season. Apparently, not having 60-plus points did kind of hurt him there. But he's now playing with Carlo. And then we've got Bean and Addison and Pettersson and Coughlin. I kind of like that. I kind of like the idea of Addison here. He's still got a little bit of room to grow. Pettersson is going to be that perfect bottom four defenseman. Do you even call him that? Anyway, I think I like these lines quite a bit. We do get a +2 if I put Carlo with Addison, but I think I'm going to leave it for now with Girard and Carlo. We saw Carlo last season for us. He was phenomenal. +16 in 18 games played. Offensively, I think I kind of want to try out Safronov. I'm going to make it work, man. I'm going to keep putting Safronov on the top line at least until things click. The second line obviously is never going to be broken up. I think it's perfect. I think Yamamoto could end up sliding up there in a year or so, and maybe Kuzmenko heads on out. He's got 3 years left at $6.5 million, 2 after this one. But let's take a look at the AHL as well. We got Perlini, Hayden, Tropchenko, Byers, and McCarty are down here. Pedersen, Studenik. Okay, scratched. And anybody scratched? Nobody important seems to be scratched, so head coach preferred lines. McCarty here. Can we move him up for somebody? Studenik. Yeah, there we go. And Byers, same thing. We could move him up for Hayden, I guess. He's a great centerman, apparently. He does have 74 faceoffs. Honestly, not too bad, but Larry McCarty here is the better of the two. He just doesn't end up fitting as well. So a +1 there on the second line is probably where I'm going to leave him. And then Francis Byers here, does fit the second and third lines better, but I think getting a +1 there, 71. He's got pretty good passing, pretty good offensive awareness, so he's not going to drag that line down per se. Compare them here. They're really not that far apart. There's Zeb Forsfall, who I think may be a surprisingly good two-way player. Taro Santavuori is a guy we drafted, I believe. No, he's undrafted. I believe we drafted somebody like that. Anyway, there's David Gustafson, who's now playing there. We definitely need to send down Norlinder. He will fill in one of these spots up here. Rustevich is up to a 74, and then I'll have to sign 2 more AHL level defensemen. In goal, we've got Wolf, who's up to an 80. He was a 77 when we signed him, and he jumped to an 80 just now as a low elite at 24. He's listed as a minor league starter still. Vladimir Sharov is now up to a 75. Oh my goodness. Things are going to look really, really good here in Anchorage pretty darn soon with plenty of players ready to come up to the NHL. There we go. I do want to check out Berkeley Catton's growth. I do have to view the contracts just to see that, though. So we'll take a look in the system, take a look at the players. He's up to a 76, right? And he's still playing. Okay, he's still playing in the WHL. Kiviharu worries me, guys. 66 at 19. I don't know if he's going to end up being anything for us. And that's really concerning. He was really the medium elite. He was the guarantee. 10th overall. Aaron Kiviharu was the guy that was supposed to jump up for us. Unless I play him in the AHL, right? Maybe I sign him and play him in the AHL and only sign one more defenseman, right? Maybe that's what he's lacking is the playing time. Do we have time on ice numbers for him? Yeah, he's only playing 17 minutes a night, but it's probably more than you get in the AHL. I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts about him. But the roster looks phenomenal to me. I think there's just so much talent ready to come up very, very soon. We got to keep doing this where we keep this loaded pipeline so we don't end up struggling and having to survive off of aging veterans who aren't getting better but are getting worse. But guys, I'm pretty excited about it. Just the two questions. Should I leave Safronov on the first line? And should I sign Kiviharu? Other than that, I'm really happy with how things look down here. It's phenomenal. I think I'm very, very excited for it. The season coming up. I think defensively, Sherrard getting a little bit worse, but that's okay. We now have Carlo, and it just really all around, I think it's really, really good. So that's all the time I have for this one, guys. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.
It's a free-for-all before we fall. It's a free-for-all before we fall. Took some L's, but I guess you can't.